They say humans know more about the surface of the moon than the oceans. Heck, it seems people will even be able to vacation in a space hotel in the not-so-distant future. Given the amount of unexplained ocean phenomena, that claim is believable. But not all ocean mysteries are actually mysteries. Some of the strangest underwater phenomena do indeed have a scientific explanation, although they're just as fascinating as they were before experts gifted reason to their occurrences. Some sea phenomena are amazing, some are peculiar, some are downright dangerous. One thing's for sure, though, they're somewhat miraculous to witness. From subaquatic crop circles to crushing whirlpools that can suck souls below the waves, these are some of the most fascinating and even strangest things that happen at sea. Number 10. Underwater crop circles. Crop circles are synonymous with tales of aliens landing in remote farms in the countryside, ruining farmers' crops and creating a scene. However, they also occur underwater. But they're not drawn by E.T. underwater crop circles in the sand, are intricate masterpieces crafted by talented white-spotted pufferfish, Torquiginer albomaculosus, trying to woo their potential mates. Essentially, they're painting a pretty picture for the girls. Romantic, right? And artists they are, indeed. That said, their artistic creation isn't just art. It serves a more strategic reproductive purpose of sorts. The carefully constructed hills, valleys, and ridges within the sand attract the female pufferfish, who follows them carefully to find the male, after which she eventually lays eggs at the center of the crop circle. Then, the grooves protect the eggs and offspring from ocean currents. Number 9. Thermoclines. An underwater thermocline is one of the hottest and coolest underwater phenomena to experience. In simple terms, it's one of the planet's weird ocean phenomena that occurs when the transition layer between warmer water at the ocean surface and the deeper, cooler water below creates an almost immediate contrast in temperature that can be felt and seen. Commonly experienced by snorkelers and scuba divers in the ocean, thermoclines aren't at all rare and are easy to spot and feel. When in the water, a diver or snorkeler may feel a sudden and oftentimes dramatic temperature change. It's actually quite nice to swim through a warm one during a dive. Not only can one feel a thermocline, but it's possible to physically see one too. A little bit like a mirage in a desert or when oil is submerged in water, the thermocline layer sometimes creates a visible refraction that distorts the water, making it appear blurry. Number 8. Underwater waterfalls. The world's tallest waterfall is Angel Falls in Venezuela. Is it though? Technically, not. The highest waterfall in the world is underwater, crashing into deep, dark ocean depths. There are tons of underwater waterfalls around the world. They're fascinating underwater phenomena that occur when cold, dense water meets with warmer, less dense water. The biggest of the bunch is the Denmark Strait Cataract, the largest waterfall on Earth, which is underwater. It's over 11,500 feet in height, dwarfing the height of Niagara Falls by over 10 times. If the size alone wasn't jaw-dropping enough, then perhaps the copious quantity of liquid that flows over it will blow minds. The Denmark Strait Cataract pumps 175 million cubic feet of water each second. To put that into imaginable quantities, that's almost enough water to fill up Lake Erie every single day. Number 7. Brinicles. So, what are brinicles? Well, take brine and icicles, mash them together. And one gets this nasty, but albeit visually striking, underwater icicle, which are also called sea stalactites. How do brinicles form? The explanation is nigh. When water freezes, salt and other impurities and particles are forced out of the liquid. After a while, the brine, still in its liquid state, seeps into cracks in the frozen sea ice, through which the brine leaks into the surrounding open ocean. Because brine is much heavier than the surrounding water, it sinks to the ocean's floor, immediately freezing the said surrounding water it comes into contact with as it descends. Don't let their fairy tale beauty deceive. Brinicles are indeed dangerous, mostly to the poor seafloor crawling critters navigating through and around them, that is. Most victims of ghastly brinicles are sea urchins and slowly moving starfish, who, upon venturing too close, can become entombed in an ice trap and freeze to death. Number 6. The red tide phenomenon. Fall foliage colors aren't the only natural phenomenon that turns nature's jewels red. The red tide is perhaps among the most colorful ocean phenomena. Vivid hues of red and orange paint the tides with picturesque palettes akin to autumn's delight, or Halloween's fright, depending on who's looking at it. Horror fans might appreciate this totally vampirish ocean devilry. And that terror notion is indeed no lie. While compelling to witness, the red tide is actually a horror show for the creatures in its midst. This dangerous ocean phenomenon consists of harmful algae blooms containing colonies of various algae types. When these algal colonies grow excessively, the toxic chemicals they produce is a bad day for fish, marine mammals, fish, birds, and, yes, humans. Number 5. Rogue waves. Of course, waves are a natural part of the ocean's movements, and most people can immediately see when a wave is about to form and break. Or can they? Not in the case of the rogue wave. What is a rogue wave? Also called freak waves. It's a gnarly wave that seemingly appears out of nowhere with zero warning. And they're usually so colossal and powerful, so much so that they can tip and destroy entire boats, or give them a good shaking. Rogue waves, not to be confused with tsunamis, normally occur far from land, reaching up to 80 feet high. It's not fully known how or why they form. However, experts believe they take place when smaller waves merge into large ones, according to the Noah. Ominous, mysterious, mighty, and infamously unpredictable, rogue waves can do considerable damage and even cause ships' demises. Number 4. The convergence of the Baltic and North Seas. At the place where two seas meet, Denmark gets another claim to fame. Together, in their dance, the Baltic Sea and the North Sea form perhaps what is the most incredible ocean phenomenon to see. These two seas meet, yet they don't mix, creating a dramatic and instant contrast of colors as the two merge at their confluence. A white line of foam appears on the water's surface when the two seas clash, in addition to the merge's differing colors, all of which are caused by the difference in salinities and densities. Due to these seas' salinity and density disparities, they never fully mix or conform to one another, instead creating this stunning natural display that looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. Number 3. Underwater lakes, deep-sea brine pools. Ever heard of an underwater lake? That's right. Lakes aren't limited to the realms of fantasy, nor are they merely synonymous with land. They exist under the sea. Found in the deep ocean, deep-sea brine pools are essentially underwater lakes filled with denser, saltier water that's heavier than the surrounding water. The heavy water with the high salt content thus falls to the seafloor, thanks gravity, creating the illusion of a subaquatic lake within the ocean itself. Underwater lakes even have a distinguishable shoreline, as well as visible water flow, ripples, and waves. A few mussel species can and do survive along underwater lakes' edges. However, most marine life is not compatible with their high salt concentrations, minimal oxygen levels, and presence of chemical compounds, rendering them uninhabitable for the majority of species. Number 2. Whirlpools, Maelstrom. Are whirlpools real? Absolutely. Usually the stuff of pirate movies and nightmares, whirlpools aren't the works of fiction. Davy Jones and Jack Sparrow can meet their match in the real world, with Maelstrom. A maelstrom is a type of extremely strong whirlpool. It forms when opposing water currents meet, creating a powerful occurrence of swirling, twisting water that can potentially suck surrounding objects, and yes, people, into its unforgiving vortex. Indeed, Maelstrom is planet Earth's answer to the universe's black holes in outer space. Number 1. Bioluminescence. Anyone who's seen bioluminescence photos of glowing seas and beaches, or witnessed its magic in person, will probably agree that this amazing ocean phenomenon is enchanting, hypnotic in a way. Easily taking the baton among the most beautiful ocean phenomena, bioluminescence causes the ocean to glitter and glisten like the night sky. It occurs when living things' bodies produce and emit light through chemical reactions. But where is bioluminescence found in the sea? Bioluminescent creatures inhabit marine environments globally at all depths, from the dark depths of the seafloor to the shallow sea surface. Perhaps the most common creature to produce the sea's answer to the northern lights is bioluminescent plankton, which tends to proliferate when the waters are quiet, ocean temperatures are warm, and there's a little bit of wind. So, we have shared with you Top 10 truly fascinating underwater phenomena. Hope they will be useful to you. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.